Pseudoregalia is a platformer with a big focus on exploration and mastery of acrobatic jumping moves. Its initial free release was the direct result of a solo developer's game jam project, done in the span of about 3 weeks during early 2023. The commercial version, which is a lot more complete, took 4 months, which is still a really short period of time for a single developer. The graphics were done simple on purpose, but in the end they give this game a circa 97 Nintendo 64 or PlayStation platformer look. Going by the smeary textures, I think the intention was to make it look like a Nintendo 64 game, but it's missing all the fog blocking anything further than 5 feet away from you. I demand a fog update! Actually, it's okay the way it is. The gameplay requires a good view of your surroundings in rooms small and big, and figure out the best way to get to an exit or power up, using all the movement skills you unlocked. The main character, Sybil, feels great to control from the get-go, and her mobility only gets better and better as you find power-ups. It's hard to describe just how good the controls feel in this game, but let me just say it's the first game in a long time where not once did I want to blame the controls for being stuck in any part, or falling off into bottomless pits. Sybil feels as agile as she's supposed to be, and by the end of the game you'll feel like you can climb just about any flat surface you can spot. Well, you can't, but it still feels awesome. As you can already tell, this game is what you kids call Metroidvania, a set of areas with multiple exits that connect into a single large dungeon or castle or whatever. You explore each section of the mysterious Castle Sansa in search of 5 keys to unlock the door leading to the final area. You're given very little context of who Sybil is and why she is until the final moments in the story, so I can't even give you a synopsis. In your search, you can also find upgrades for your life or magic meter, and the usual character abilities that let you reach areas you couldn't at first, standard Metroid style stuff. But if you come into this game for combat, you're going to be left incredibly disappointed. Sybil does get to carry a cool looking weapon and strike enemies on occasion, but the combat you do is pretty much an afterthought. Fighting enemies never feels great. Pseudoregalia is all about the platforming, and thanks to the character's aerial mobility, that's more than enough to carry the game. Each ability you unlock comes with short instructions, but it takes only a few tries before the best use for each of them becomes intuitive. You can approach every new room you find as a small platform puzzle that happens to have multiple solutions. There are a few advanced moves you can do depending on the combination of abilities you have. The game doesn't teach you those, but if you learn them on your own, you can break a lot of the sequence of platforming and reach locations earlier than intended. You shouldn't feel like a dirty cheater if you can pull that off. Sequence breaking is pretty much part of the Metroidvania experience. I don't care what anyone says about that. Some of the platforming can get really challenging. Since you usually don't get punished harshly for failing, you're encouraged to keep trying using new methods and maneuvers. The more daring you get with your moves, the more you get used to breezing through future sections of the areas. I honestly don't know if you can tell from the footage, but the level design in this game really does a tremendous job at teaching you all the way to the end. It's not something you notice until you play it and look back at how you've been evolving. And because it's a really short game, that evolution happens really fast. It should go without saying that you have to backtrack fairly often. Unfortunately, that's just how it is with these Metroid-like games. But the backtracking didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. The map isn't too large, and it feels like the more abilities you unlock, the faster you move through rooms you already cleared. The wall clinking and slide jumps are especially good to make your round trips smooth and feel great while you're doing it. I'm not sure if the aim of the soundtrack was to simulate Nintendo 64 style, just like with the graphics, but to me it sounded very similar to Nintendo DS games, like Castlevania Art of Ecclesia. And some of the tracks are almost as good in quality. The sound effects are another story. Sometimes they sound okay, other times they sound like that. I'm almost glad to say my only real complaint about the game are the enemies and the combat. Anytime I have to fight anything that takes more than 3 hits to get killed is a bad time. Something about their weird low frame rates of animation and the hitboxes throws me off completely. Most Nintendo 64 and PlayStation 1 games have animation well above this frame rate. I don't understand why the developer animated in this way. This game is currently PC exclusive and can be purchased at Steam. I wouldn't expect a console release anytime soon if I were you. It's a really solid, unique short game that has controls rivaling a polished Mario game, and you can finish it in a weekend. It's also really cheap, so you have no excuse not to get it. I'll only not recommend this if you hate platforming, or if Sybil's prominent goat cheeks bother you. Have you played this game? How did you like it? Let us know in the comments, and as always, thank you for watching. See you next time.